Welcome in, everybody, to our post-game recap of the Titans' loss to the Cleveland Browns by a final score of 41-35. I'm amazed, Jake, that the score even was that final. We had no business even making it that close. That was the biggest 6-point final score blowout I've ever seen in my life. Guys, we're a couple days late getting our recap out, so I know there's been a lot of reaction, a lot of post-game analysis from local media and other Titans channels that you've probably been checking out. But Jake, you were at the game, and then you drove back yesterday. So, I'm not blaming it on you, and that's why we didn't get the recap done, because I don't want to do this recap. This game was horrible. What?
Yeah,
What's
we
going
could have
on?
skipped this week, honestly. I don't think anybody's that excited to talk about the game.
I'm not excited. This was the Pittsburgh Steelers game all over again, and I didn't think I could have seen a worse first half. And then we got that. We got a worse first half from this Titans team in this game against Cleveland than we did against Pittsburgh, when we couldn't stop anything. Offense couldn't get anything going. Just so many bad things happening. I will live, kind of going all over the place off the bat, but shout out Corey Davis. Career day was a beast for us. Bright spots. I also thought Tannehill, he came to play. He was lights out. But offense only gets one touchdown at the beginning or in the first half. We only had 7 points on the board. But just everywhere else was a disaster. We wasted two incredible performances by these guys by taking the loss. So it's kind of bittersweet,
No doubt.
And as far as Corey Davis goes, I'm happy for him. But after that game, his price tag just went up big time for the offseason to get re-signed. Yep. I mean, he's having, we were joking about Jonnu Smith breakout year for the first half of the season. This is literally a Corey Davis breakout year. I mean, the guy deserves some props. Really stepping into, he's looking more like a dependable wide receiver one mold these last couple weeks than A.J. Brown. What's going on, man? Fumbling the ball. Still dropping passes. That was disappointing. So I don't know. Like, there's the two bright spots that I have in my notes about this game. Everything else is garbage. This defense is a disaster, man. It's a disaster. Let me ask you something.
Yes.
The situation is 3rd and 10. We're on defense. What is even your confidence level? I'm almost like I would be shocked if we stopped the
next to nothing.
On a 3rd and 10. Yeah. How can we not trust our defense on a 3rd and 10? They give that stuff up all the time. We can't rely on them to perform week in and week out. And it's so frustrating, Jake. All of my frustrations are just pouring out now onto you, and I'm sorry that you're having receive this long introductory tirade. I'll just throw it to you, Jake. I mean, what are you discouraged? Man, this team, they make you believe for back-to-back weeks, and then they go right back to the disaster that we have seen at times this year. I don't know. What do you think,
Indeed.
man?
Now, you can throw all your frustration my way. I had some people throwing frustration my way on Twitter for attending the game, because now this year in games that I've been to, it's been at Cincinnati, huge loss, blowout loss, and this Cleveland game, huge loss, blowout loss. So I will give my Titans 2 promise. I solemnly swear I will not attend a game for the rest of this season.
Oh, thank God.
We'll see about next year, but I will not be in the stands again for the Titans this year, just because it's bad look for me, man. Bad look for me.
Yeah. They don't like playing in front of you, man.
As far as confidence level, how I'm feeling about this team, this game was pretty much just a throw out the tape, kind of move on to Jacksonville kind of performance, kind of like what we saw Cincinnati-wise. I did want to point out this team had a chance to get back in this game, Justin. They had me believing after the Michael Pruitt picking up A.J. Brown's fumble, they could have scored late in that 3rd quarter and gone into the 4th quarter down 13. And, as Titans fans, that's a spot we kind of want to be, because that's where, this team kind of makes its money. But way too much to overcome. Like you said, it was like a Pittsburgh Steelers game first half, but, almost twice as worse. The Browns put up 38 in the first half. I'm going through the drive charts here. The Browns drove straight down, got a field goal. The Titans get shafted on that 4th and 1.
Yeah, the
call. I thought
spot.
Henry got it in the stadium. I thought he got it on the
We had a
replay.
lot of things. We had a lot of things go against us early that really
Mhm.
put us into the hole. I think, and the refs. I think were part of that. I did think we kind of got screwed there, and there's a couple other plays too early on that helped with the Browns' momentum
Yeah,
and getting to that big lead. But we shot ourselves in the foot more times than not on
no
defense.
doubt. Yeah, I mean,
And
yes, there were
The
some.
Derrick Henry fumble too, first
Mhm.
fumble of the season. That was not needed, Henry. You picked a bad time to have your first fumble.
Yes. Yeah. Super, super disappointing there. But obviously, the Browns drive right down the field, get the 10-point lead. Derrick Henry, first play, the Titans could have a chance to rebuttal. Fumbles. Browns get the ball back. Bam, touchdown. You blink, and it's 17 to nothing. The Titans
Crazy,
did respond. I was in the line getting beer at this time for their
as you do. Yeah.
3-play, 4-play drive. So I missed that bright spot. But then, of course, Baker Mayfield comes right back, one play, 75 yards to Donovan Peoples-Jones, and then the wheels just kind of fell off there. This Titans defense could not stop a nosebleed, Justin. I spent the entire preview video dogging Baker Mayfield in this passing offense,
Yeah.
and he must have watched the video. They must have
How do you
played it
feel now?
in the locker room because he came to play. He had 300 plus yards, 4 touchdowns in the first half, and it was impressive. I got to give
Yeah.
hats off to the Cleveland Browns. They just came out to play, came ready, and they were the better team. It's kind of
Yeah.
just simple as that.
As far as Baker's performance, he was good. He made some great throws. He came ready to play. But dude, this defense made him look like Peyton Manning out there, man.
Yeah.
And they were well coached too. Like even like the 3rd and 10s and stuff. He's throwing to dudes that are wide open.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing on defense there? Where are our safeties? Where's Kevin Byard? Whenever a bad game for Brown Borders, but whenever he gets
Yeah.
burned for the long touchdown, where's our safeties there? I mean, maybe it's a
Mm-hmm.
case where Byard isn't playing deep, and so maybe they're like, okay, here's our shot. So they throw it deep, and there's no safety there, obviously, because that's how the defense was called.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of it being Byard's fault for being out of place, or Hooker or Vaccaro or what have you.
Yeah.
But yeah, just man, they just were a step ahead every single time. It's like
Yep.
our defense was okay on 1st and 2nd down. I feel like we got them into a lot of 3rd down situations, but it's all hopeless. It's all hopeless. It
Yep.
could be 3rd and 20, and I would not have confidence we would get.
Honestly.
And I can't explain it. I can't believe it. I've never seen such a bad, not just 3rd down defense, but 3rd and long defense. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's a gimme. That's like, all right, we're about to get the ball back. You're feeling good. But no,
Yeah.
you have zero confidence that we're getting to
None.
stop in those situations. So, but yeah, props to the Browns, like you were saying. Props to Baker Mayfield. They shut us up big time. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we were talking about how confident we were going into this game. We thought
Yeah.
it was going to be a running attack versus running attack game, but really it was Mayfield airing it out to Peoples Jones. Is that his name? And
Yeah.
Higgins
Donovan Peoples-Jones and Rashard Higgins.
and all these Peoples Jonesing on us. It's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing. But they came out and just played a better game than us. They're 9-3. Props to them.
For sure. I
Yeah,
mean, and looking at the box score, man, I said coming in, I would like a Ryan Tannehill 300 plus yard
yeah.
performance, but
Maybe
obviously
not like
not
that.
like this. Not like
Yeah.
this.
He almost got
You know,
400. He was airing
yeah,
it
I think
out.
they
I
had
thought he was playing
400
really well
total, over
too.
400 total yards of offense.
Yeah.
Just a tough day all around.
And
But
his
I did like to see the
sorry.
team come back a little bit in the second half.
Right.
Kind of not just quit and fold on itself. This game could have ended not by a 6-point margin. It should have ended by a much, much larger margin. But I did, in a day where the Titans looked just absolutely abysmal. You like to see the little bit of fight they had in the second half. I'm sorry, what were you going
For
to say,
sure.
Justin?
No, I was kind of going towards that way as well, and then talking about Tannehill's performance. And yeah, and we were making. I can't remember the score at the time, but when the Titans were driving again in the second half to put another touchdown on the board, the pass bounces off Adam Humphries' face of all things and pops up, and it gets intercepted at like the 2-yard line. They return
Mhm.
it for a little
That was
bit
to
of a
make it
gain
a
there.
13-point game
Okay.
at
That's
that
when I
point,
was
going
like,
into the fourth quarter. Yeah.
I mean, because they had at the beginning of the third quarter, it was kind of incredible. We put up like 2 touchdowns in the first 5 minutes of the
Hmm.
game, and it was
And
like,
that's what was needed.
you
I
have
had
my
a little bit of hope.
attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have my attention now, but I don't trust this defense still. But we kept getting stops and getting the ball back and starting to come back a little bit. But it was that Adam Humphries bounce off the head interception where I was like, man, that kind of feels like the game. That was like our chance to really get this game within a believable reasonable reach, to make a comeback, making it a 13-point game, but it was not meant to be. So yeah, that wasn't Tannehill's fault. AJ Brown dropping balls, like he put a ball right on the money, throwing deep to Brown in the second half, and it just bounced right off his hands. I thought Tannehill was fantastic today. Hate that we had to waste a great performance from him in a loss, but if we can try to be optimistic, and 38-7, most teams would fold and give up. It's pretty incredible that we fought back to make it a 41-35 final. Definitely helped out by that Baker Mayfield fumble and
strange
running it back with a minute left.
I was okay, back to the
we'll take some more stats
happened,
and touchdowns. Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I told my girl, I was like, if we recover this onside kick, I'm gonna flip out because we have no business getting the ball back down 6, with like 30 seconds left to even have a chance. Like that's ridiculous. But I don't know if there's what else you want to say about the game, or if we can move forward with this team. We're 8-4. Did not get help from the Texans, so we're tied with the Colts now at the top of the division. So what's this playoff picture looking like?
That's going to be the most optimistic thing coming out of this game, Justin. Scrap the game tape. I don't even want to hear about this Browns game anymore. Just kind of move on. Focus on what you can control. You got 4 games left in the season. The Titans have Jacksonville, Detroit, Green Bay, and then finish up with Houston week 17. Now, there are 3 very winnable games there, Justin. If the Titans can make it to 11-5, they're going to make the playoffs, and they're probably going to win the AFC South, frankly. The Colts, Titans still have the Titans have the tiebreaker over Indianapolis right now. So, silver lining coming out of this game, the Titans are still first place in the AFC South. They're still, a 90% plus probability to make the playoffs. So this team is going to play football in January. I'm saying that pretty confidently. Knock on wood.
As confident as you were calling out Baker Mayfield for not being a good quarterback, Jake? Yes, I can't believe you. I can't trust you anymore.
As confident as I was saying we can make Baker Mayfield have a rough day, but he had the absolute opposite of a rough day. So even if the Titans do fumble this AFC South tiebreaker and eventually lose the division to Indianapolis, which they very well could. Indianapolis is a good team. They're playing good football. Their schedule kind of looks a lot like ours. They have winnable games. I think they have Las Vegas to go in Vegas, so that could be an interesting matchup. But yeah, looking ahead, the wild card teams the Titans might have to fight with if it comes to that and the Titans do lose the AFC South. I mean, you have the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns are obviously going to have that 5th seed. The Dolphins have a very, very tough schedule coming up. They have the Chiefs to go. They have the Bills to go, a surging Patriots team to go. They have a tough schedule coming up. And then the Raiders do not scare me much as, they almost lost to the Jets last Sunday.
They won that game, yeah.
And then the Baltimore Ravens, who the Titans will have the tiebreaker over. So this team is going to be a playoff team, Justin. It would take an absolute collapse. They'd have to go 1-3, 0-4, I think, to miss out at the playoffs at this point. Because I think 10-6, especially with the Titans, the way they played this year, is going to get them in.
Yeah, I think 10-6. I think there's probably will be a 9-7 team getting in. Probably for sure in the NFC. But man, looking at this Jacksonville game, and after watching our performance against Cleveland, dude, I mean, we can win that game for sure, but Jacksonville, they're on an 11-game losing streak, but I'm just looking at their last 5 games. 4 out of the last 5, they've been very competitive. Houston lost 27-25. At Green Bay, lost 24-20. The Pittsburgh game was bad. They lost 27-3. They only lost to Cleveland 27-25. They gave Cleveland a much better game than we did on Sunday.
We only lost to Cleveland by 6.
Yeah, only by 6. Yeah, we were pretty close.
They gave this Cleveland Browns team a hell of a fight down in Jacksonville, last week. So
yeah, and then last week went to Minnesota. Sorry, last one. They lost in overtime, 27-24. So they're competing and they're playing. And if this Titans team doesn't come ready, they're going to get punched in the mouth again out of the gates. So I guess it's going to be the Mike Glennon show, torching our defense on 3rd and 10 coming up. I can't
Fantasy
wait.
owners, pick up Mike Glennon. The playoffs are probably starting this week for a lot of fantasy owners.
Yeah.
Start the entire Jaguars offense because it's going to
Can't
be, and
believe.
bet the over.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's going to come down to the Titans winning the games they're supposed to win. And you're looking at the schedule ahead and you're thinking this Jacksonville game next week, this is a game the Titans cannot lose. If they come out and lose this game, it might be at an all-time low as far as this season's concerned. And, we might be having a different conversation about how confident we are about the Titans limping into January if they do lose next week. So you're looking at the Jacksonville game. That is a game you have to have.
It is, because you want to keep that division record. You want to have that better than Indianapolis is. We have to have, because I think if we win against Jacksonville, our division record will move to 4-1 with still a game left against Houston. But I think the Colts have already lost 3
games.
Oh, they've lost 2 division games. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we currently only have 1 loss compared to their 2. So we want to maintain that tiebreaker right there, because it could come down to that if the Titans and Colts finish with the same overall record. So
exactly,
huge game. We got to pick up this win against Jacksonville for sure.
If the Titans do end up going 500 over this last quarter of the season, they end up going 2-2 in these final 4 games. It is absolutely critical that those 2 wins are against Jacksonville and then Houston week 17. They can drop the 2 NFC opponents as far as the AFC playoff race is concerned. Now, you're looking at that Detroit game at home and saying the Titans should beat Detroit at home. Keyword should. I think they should have beat the Browns. But again, credit to the Browns. This Browns team is good. They could be dangerous. It's kind of looking in the mirror. I heard somebody say that this Titans and Browns team is very similar. What the Browns did to us, on Sunday is what the Titans did to Indianapolis, last Sunday. They kind of can do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, the Browns are going to be a tough out in January. They could make a very Titans-esque, from last year run. And I wouldn't surprise me. So again, credit to the Cleveland Browns. But you should win that game against Detroit at home. And then, going to Green Bay is going to be a wild card. It's going to be a Sunday night game. It's going to be kind of interesting. But pardon me. But I do see the Titans choking that game away. I made a joke out of it.
I think, if we beat Jacksonville and then the Lions, we're probably – that game against Green Bay is probably not going to matter, because you got to think the Colts are going to be right there with us, and we're going to still have to end up winning against Houston regardless. I don't think we will have the division clinched, win or lose the Green Bay game. So I think it could be like I don't know. We could be overlooking Green Bay to the Houston game, who's already going to be out of the playoffs, which is weird to say, but
look at the situation last year where we had the Saints week 16, and it didn't matter if we won or lost that game. It was going to be winning in against Houston week 17. And we might have the same kind of situation this year again.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting, though. I just thought of this. If we don't win the division and get in as a wild card, maybe it's better for us, because this team is now 4-3 at home as opposed to 4-1 on the road.
Wow.
If you look at last year, we won 2 playoff games on the road. You look at the playoff win before that with Mariota, that was on the road against Alex Smith's Kansas City Chiefs. So maybe the road is this Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill bread and butter. I don't know. It's just a weird stat that this team is now, for sure, playing better.
And they have been great at home over the Vrabel era, even going back to Mike Mularkey. This team was good at home. Yeah. So, a definite kind of head scratcher there. But, at the end of the day, Justin, I still have confidence in this team to get to playoff football. I think they're going to make the playoffs. I mean, it's not any stretch of the imagination. There's still 90% 90+% probability to end up playing in January. But whether they make noise in January, it's a different story. You don't have Dean Pease coordinating the defense. I thought last year we had one of the better sneaky defenses in the league because we could shut people down depending on the matchup. I thought obviously the Titans matched up well against Baltimore last year. They matched up well against New England, held them to 13 points. I don't see this Titans defense, holding anybody under 20 in the playoffs in January. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, the defense. has got to figure some stuff out fast because we'll make the playoffs, but we're looking like a very likely one and done team if we don't fix
Mhm.
whatever's going on with the defense. And
Mhm.
man, it remind me you talking about the defense. There's a time in that Cleveland game where another 3rd and long was given up, and they cut the camera to Vrabel, and he was kind of crouched with his elbows on his knees with the play sheet, and he was just kind of swinging it with his head down. And it's like, yeah, dude, that's how we're all feeling. Like, what are you doing? What's going on? And even he's like,
Hire a defensive
yeah,
coordinator like Vrabel. That is my number one thing on my Christmas list this year is for the Titans to hire a defensive coordinator because it's become very clear at this point now that, we're 3/4 the way through the season and
you know
this
who's
this
available?
defense is not looking great.
You know who is available? Greg Williams, because he just got fired by the Jets. And you know what? He coached here in like 99, 2000. That's the
Mhm.
Super Bowl teams, and we had a fantastic defense. So maybe that's the match. Maybe he's only great here. So
I
pick him
mean,
up.
he did
It
lose
can't
the
be
Jets
worse.
their one shot. I don't know how worse it could get. I mean, they only gave up how many to the Raiders? What, 28 or 31 or something? It's better than
Yeah,
41. So
right.
at
It's
this
an
point, I'm
upgrade.
willing
He
to
would be
try
an
anything.
upgrade. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. But do you have anything else to say? We kind of kept this one a little short, kind of truncated. I mean, obviously it's Tuesday.
Yeah,
Not a lot to say about the game. I mean, it was just an
not a lot
ass
of new
kicking up and
stuff.
down the field.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
we're probably
it is
regurgitating a
what it
lot of
is.
talking points that other people uh, have been hearing the last 2 days. I don't know. Is there any other like players, moments in the game, injuries? I mean, after losses, I'm kind of a sore loser. I kind of just I need some space, and because I
Mhm.
like will obsessively follow news leading up to the game.
Yeah.
But then if we lose, it's like, man, I gotta decompress and just take a break. So I don't know exactly new stuff that's coming out. You're like breaking news to me, like right before we started filming. Like Adam Humphries on IR.
Hmm.
Didn't know that. Um,
They
so I
said
don't
he
know.
had some kind of residue on his hands. It was slippery. I think he's on IR for Butterfingers, is what they called it.
Oh, I
But
didn't know where
I'm
you were
sure
going with that.
I make jokes. But
It was good.
yeah,
I
Adam
enjoyed that.
Humphries to IR. Who knows how long he's going to be out? I mean, Jadeveon Clowney, it came out that he had season-ending knee surgery. So uh, great, edge rushing free agent signings have worked out this year, so to speak. 0 combined sacks between Vic Beasley and Jadeveon Clowney, giving those two dudes almost $20 million. So
Ugh.
it's going to be kind of a wash your hands, kind of reload this offseason, I think. And frankly, Justin, I wouldn't be too upset if the Titans were a one and done playoff team, just because A, better draft positioning, and B, I don't see us making the Super Bowl as it is. I know we were riding high after the Colts game, like, hey, this is looking like the Titans team that made the run. But at the end of the day, this defense is not going to get it done. So who's to
Right.
say? I don't see anybody beating the Kansas City Chiefs at this point. Pittsburgh looked horrible the last 2 weeks. The Bills are too
Yeah.
inconsistent. This Browns team can make some noise. I might adopt them as my second favorite team if the Titans lose, but we'll see. So maybe that's just the pessimist side of me coming out after going to the games, paying for tickets, waiting in line to get in the stadium, and just watching the Titans get worked up and down the field. Both times, Justin.
Both
I am
times.
staying
We are
away
cursed.
from this team.
The Ohio teams are cursed. It's that or it's you. One of the
It's
two.
yeah,
The AFC
starting to
North,
think it's me.
man, if it weren't for that overtime win against Baltimore, the AFC North would have swept us.
Yeah.
That division is a problem for this Titans team, and
Mm-hmm.
that sucks. That's the old
Yeah.
AFC Central. If we were still in that division with them, we'd be having a terrible year. We
We
can't
would,
win a
yeah,
game
we would
against
not be
these
winning the
guys.
division.
Oh
That's
goodness!
for
All right,
sure.
let's just pray for a bounce back win against Jacksonville. Wash our hands from this game,
Yep.
like you were saying, and
It could be
just
sunshine and rainbows next week as
yeah,
we talk about the
get back
playoff
to feeling
picture
good again.
evolving. Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
All right.
Anything to take us to the barn? Any kind of tighten up optimism? We got to hang out this weekend, Justin. That was pretty great.
Yay! That was
We got
awesome.
to hang out
That
in
was a good time.
person. We could put the photo right here, and
Look
yeah,
at that.
we
Look at
had a
those,
great time.
those best friends there, just having
Handsome
fun.
mugs. Yep.
Yeah, it was a great
um,
time. I'm glad we got to hang, dude. That
yeah,
was
for sure.
a good time. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
All right. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Sorry you got to watch this video about the Titans getting worked again.
You have to. You have no choice.
Exactly. So shout out to everybody. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Justin, tighten up, man. And
Tighten up.
have
Don't
a
lose
great
faith.
day.
Let's get this win next week. We'll see you guys next week. Yeah.
Beat the Jags. Peace.
Jags.